Tuesday, September 17th, 2024. 17th, look out, baby. We had a tomato in the yard. There's a tomato in the yard. People are throwing tomatoes at my DigiByte because they're so jealous, baby. Especially with the air conditioning in it. Oh man, they dug up this road. I just passed this guy on the bike. He's probably like, what the frick? I'm going in circles here. So, all right. Second ass in nation attempt, or so-called. We don't even know at this point what really happened. I was seeing a few things. I'm just kind of watching the drama unfold because there's a lot of drama. We've got people saying, oh, he rigged it on purpose to get sympathy. It's the second time. And then on the other side, it's, oh man, they're trying to kill him. Obviously, he's the anti-deep state candidate because everybody's trying to kill him. So no matter what narrative, this is the thing I've been saying since the first ass in nation attempt or event. What we had was, in my mind, you can pick any narrative you want right now, and it fits. The lovely Litecoin Lisa and I talk about this a little bit, mostly her, about a choose your own adventure book. You remember those? A choose your own adventure book, to where you can pick it up and you can say, hey, you're standing at the edge of a cliff. Do you grab the vine, or do you the lion's coming at you? Do you grab the vine, or do you hang on the side of the cliff, or whatever it is, or run sideways, or stand tall against the lion? You have options, and then turn the page, whatever it is, to complete your adventure. Oh, you died, the lion ate you. Oh, the vine broke, you did. And then you go back and then you make the third choice, and like, oh, okay, that was the right choice. But I think that's what's happening right now, to where we all can choose whatever our narrative is, and it all fits, it all works, because you can look at it and say, oh, well, that makes total sense, this is how it's happening. And it depends on how you view things. You're creating your own reality with this stuff. It's very, very interesting, I think. Oh man, something I could have done and didn't do. Okay, so all the distractions. So I don't make a video anymore. There's too much going on. Choosing my own path, not to make a video in the DigiByte. I don't get in the DigiByte much, so therefore the path to make the video is not there. Okay, so I think that's where we're at, though. You're choosing your own path, choosing your own adventure at this point. Just like Franny's choosing her own adventure to block my view. It's all good. And I think everybody thinks they're right because it all fits into their view and into their narrative. Now, where's it end up? I don't know. If we go off and spin off on 10 different timelines, 100 different timelines, or what? Or if we all at some point coalesce back to a reality, or maybe the new reality is the fact that there is no single reality. There is no single path anymore. And we all are just kind of participating. I don't know. It's really strange. It really is, because you look at it. Hey, the Fed should raise or lower a half a point tomorrow. Oh, they shouldn't lower it all. Everything's fine. And it's just, but everybody's narrative fits up. And there's somebody on Twitter, I think it's called the Kobieski letter. And at the end of the week, he'll say, bonds are signaling this, gold signaling this, and it's all opposites. Everything's signaling something different, to where nothing makes sense. Are we in a recession? Yes, we're in a recession. Other people will say, no, obviously we're not in a recession. And they've got the facts to back it up. It makes sense. And it's whatever narrative you have is going to work. And so I look at it like, all right, if that's the case, I'm going to create my own reality, and I'm just going to do whatever I want to do. As long as I don't hurt anybody, as long as I don't violate common law, then I'm just going to go do what I want to do. And hopefully it all just works out for me, right? We'll see how that goes. But I kind of think that's where we're at. Just, we have the ability to choose whether or not to participate in what reality in which we want to, where we want to participate. And so that's what we do. So that's just my thought. I think that's kind of where we're at. We're down a series of rabbit tunnels, to where you can just choose your tunnel, see what you run into, and I think you'll run into whatever you want to run into. Okay, calm down. I'm going to leave this running for a little bit. I'm not going to roll the windows down. It's a little hot. You know what? we'll do that. Talk a little bit longer here. Calm down. Calm down. Okay. So, speaking of reality, we've got, what is it? So today's the 17th. 2 weeks from this Friday, live meetup here in the area. Go to my website, clintwestwood.net, and get here. A lot of people are coming. I don't know what we're going to do at the bar after the meetup. There's been some talk of karaoke. People want to, do that. I got to look into that and see how that's going to work. Whatever, it's going to be a good time no matter what. We're going to have a live stream, happy hour live stream like we do every Friday. However, it's going to be live in a bar that you can come hang out with us. Free admission. I mean, drinks aren't free unless you're buying for me. Then they're free for me. But no, come check it out. You're going to see a lot of people that if you're on X, the X platform, YouTube, Twitter, you will see a lot of the people that you're familiar with. If you've watched anything that I do, a lot of the people that are in the chats on Thursday, Hash It Out on Blind Dave's channel. A lot of people that are in the chats on Happy Hour on Friday, they will be here. And I think it's a good time to be here because after tomorrow, I don't know what the Fed's going to do. My guess is, if I had to guess, I'd say a quarter of a point lower is what they'll do. A lot of people say, oh, it's got to be 50. It's going to be 50. I mean, it could be, but I think that'll spook the market if you do that. It'll kind of scare them and think, oh my gosh, what's the Fed know? Depends on the language too and how it's delivered. It's all about language. It's all a show. It's all a show. That's all it is. It's all a show. Ultimately, the sound assets, those assets that will soak up that money, will soak up that money. That's why you see gold telegraphing at silver a little bit. Yesterday, I went to the bank. Why would I go to a bank? Well, nickels were on sale. Why do I say nickels are on sale? You can buy $100 worth of nickels, 2,000 nickels. Each nickel, yesterday, it was like 5.3 cents. Today, it's 5.4 something. So it's about... You buy a $100 box of nickels, it's worth about $109 when you walk out of the bank. Now, how do I say that? Where do I come up with that? Each nickel has 75% copper, 75% copper and 25% nickel in it. You don't even need to sort it. You don't even need to go through it. And it's funny because the lady said, oh yeah, I have a box of $100 worth of nickels, because I asked. And she's brought it out. She says, you're not going to bring these back, are you? And I said, no. She says, okay, good, because we have to hand roll all these. So I'm thinking, okay, I know what she's thinking. And this is her disconnect, that you're going to sort through them and then bring them back. Like some people will buy dimes or quarters or sort through it, and they'll see if they can find the silver in it, and then they just bring them all back, and then they have to count them up. They got to roll them, pain in the butt. And I said, no, I'm keeping these. And if they do ask, I have maybe a device or a machine that takes nickels, and I just need nickels. Or I'm collecting them and making a bar, I'm putting all nickels on the bar or floor, I'm going to tile the floor with nickels and whatever. Just get the nickels, because I just looked today, and again, I've used this example many times. 5 quarters, or I should say, $1.25 was minimum wage in 1964. Now, 1964, that's 5 quarters, $1.25. 1964 just happened to be the last year that we had 90% silver in our coins. Quarters and dimes, I think half dollars too. So they took it out after that. So if you'd gotten paid in 1964 minimum wage at $1.25 and kept those quarters, that $1.25, you'd have maintained you preserved your energy, preserved your labor, preserved your wealth. Because right now, if you look at the melt value of that, or I should say the purchase value, whatever you want to call it, the silver content value of that, it's over $27. Those 5 quarters. Those 5 quarters that you could have held instead of a paper, gone, $1.25 in paper. Well, let's just say $1 in paper right now. What's that worth? Nothing. Can't even buy anything with it. But if you have those 5 quarters and saved them all this time, or your parents passed it down to you, instead of passing you down the stack of bills, they passed you the stacks of quarters. I mean, you 27x on it. A little less, maybe 25x or something. 25 times. But $1.25 to over $27. Sound like somebody was going to show up here. A lot of people out and about today. So that just shows you that silver can, everybody says, oh, silver, it's so low compared to gold. It protected your purchasing power. It protected your labor all these years. What's that, 60 years? Yeah, 60 years ago. Would have protected all that energy. I mean, come on, man. So, silver's something to look at. It was in the money for a reason, but they took it all out. They took anything of value out of it. You used to be able to redeem dollar bills for $1 in silver. And then it became a Federal Reserve note, no longer a silver certificate. And now it's worth nothing. A dollar bill has no value to it other than it's basically debt you're carrying around that you're paying to a Federal Reserve that created it with interest attached. And you're paying it. That's why you lose every year. And don't think, it doesn't matter. Unless the next president comes in and overturns the tables and upsets the apple cart and fixes the money and takes us back to a metallic standard or something that has real value. Really, constitutionally, it should be a silver standard. And if they don't do that, then they're just going to print more money. They're going to create more because that's what they do. And they'll give you some goodies to go along with it so you continue to kick the can. They'll say, hey, get involved in this crypto thing, this Bitcoin thing. We're going to be buying Bitcoin, so you need to get involved. And you'll feel good because, it goes up in price. But when it comes time to use it, good luck. Those transaction fees are going to be so high, you're going to regret buying it. Mark my words on that. Or you won't even be able to move it, because they'll have denominated everything in Bitcoin and they're going to be holding the Bitcoin and you're not going to have it. If you do have it, then you do run into that issue to where how much is the transaction fee? Gosh, it'd be easier if I just deposited it with the banks or whatever the custodian is. And that's what they'll probably do, is just roll the banks into digital asset custodians. We don't need cash anymore. Digital assets, the banks will take care of, give them relevance. And you'll borrow whatever you need in a CBDC, and it won't even be that. It'll probably just be a stable coin, that's soaking up all the treasuries as backing, and then that's, what you'll be able to trade with freely as your digital dollar. And so you got Bitcoin in there that's worth $1 million. You're like, I'll just take 100,000 out or 10,000 out. So you don't need to pay $1,000 transaction fee on the network to move it. No, they'll just give you $10,000 worth of, whatever stable coin is, of the realm, whatever is anointed and regulated and authorized by the government, and then you'll be able to spend it wherever you want. And that's how it'll work. And then you'll just have, that less Bitcoin on the books, but they'll be holding it for you. And that's how I see it going. I mean, I could be totally wrong, but it makes sense to me. That's how I'd do it. It's like, hey. So we'll talk more about that on Hash It Out, but that's my theory. I don't even think you'll have a CBDC. I think you'll just have stable coins that are the government sanctions or allows, and they'll just let the businesses essentially do all the dirty work, and all the banks do the dirty work and hold it for you, and you'll soak up all the debt that the government creates, through the stable coin, because they'll back it with U.S. treasuries and other things, whatever bonds or whatever they're going to put out, whatever garbage they're going to create as far as debt issuance. And the stable coin will use that as backing. And then they'll just, create digital dollar, kind of like Tether does, create these digital dollars and go buy Bitcoin with it. Or give it to you when they take your Bitcoin with it. Just how it works. So anyway, look into Litecoin. Way undervalued asset. October should be a big month. Might want to take a look at it now. Virtual private money, baby. Robbie Coleman from the Litecoin Foundation coined that in, pun intended, coined that publicly anyway, at the Litecoin Summit back in July. Virtual private money. We've heard of VPNs, VPM. Not a virtual private network, but a virtual private money. Litecoin. Virtual private money. Sound money for the digital age. Check it out. All right. I hope you can get to this meetup. Go to clintwestwood.net. Click the big link at the top. It's October 4th. 10-4, good, baby. Just think 10-4. And that's when it is. Come check it out. Come see the lovely Litecoin Lisa and me doing a live stream with a lot of people in the crypto and freedom space showing up at this bar. It's going to be a good time. All right. Love you all. Find a way to exit that vampire casino. It's a struggle. It is, but you got to be cognizant that you're in it. Otherwise, you ain't going to be able to find a way out. Some people are just blindly playing and thinking this is reality, but it's not. find a way to exit it. There are paths out. You just have to, whatever fits for you, and choose your own adventure. It'll work out. All right, love you all. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Beware the 17th of September. 17. All right, trust yourselves. Always.